If you like this episode, please subscribe, share with others, rate and review so we can continue to bring you great programming.
This is The Thing About Cars, a podcast for car enthusiasts and the people who love them.
This is The Thing About Cars. Welcome. I'm your host, Mickey Desai. We have around the table our normal gang, sort of abnormal gang, I should say. Dave, Polly, how are you?
Abnormally normal.
That's fantastic. Misty, how's it in the Netherlands?
I'm staunchly defending my pressure washer from testosterone.
And Ben, how is it, Ben?
Well, after that, but it's pretty good.
For those of you who can't see it, Ben actually looks like the airbag just deployed in his car.
And back at the mic again, joining us, one of our favorite people in the whole world, Loxley Brown. Loxley, how are you?
Fantastic. Ready
Excellent.
to tell some stories, of course.
Yes. First, I want to defend my pressure washer, or I don't even know if I have a defense because I bought a new one. First pressure washer I've ever owned, ever. It's electric, it kicks ass, and I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. And I'm itching just to get the
kicks ass. You got to take it out of the box and use it.
Fair enough. That is true. I might do that when we're done here, but I'm going to pressure wash everything in sight. So hide the kids, hide your husband and wife or whatever, and I will.
Well,
I can tell you firsthand, the cat does not enjoy it.
Cat will not. Yes, he is.
yeah, certainly not. And in my house,
Yep.
pressure washing is the reward you get for all the weeding that needs to be done.
Oh, okay.
Because the
All
pressure
right.
washing is the fun part.
In my house, we call that vodka.
Yeah.
You say potato, I say vodka.
All right, let's get right down to brass tacks here. Loxley, I know we did a bonus episode earlier this week that had some good news, but I'm not sure my colleagues are completely aware of what's happening yet. Can you fill us in?
So, we have put together an event for our Club Athena members to go to the track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is coming up really soon because it's August 11th and 12th that we're going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with DHL hosting us at the Andretti Garage to meet Jamie Chadwick, the 3-time W Series champion.
Yes.
Mind-blowing, let me tell you. And it's not just being there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. DHL has made this even bigger and better for the girls. So we are flying in a day earlier to Indianapolis so they can bus us over to Cincinnati so that we get the entire behind the scenes tour of what it's like that DHL does there at their international hub. So they're going to get to go into the airplanes. They're going to get to go into the big rigs, the transfer trucks that are hauling all of this stuff around. They're going to get to meet all of these people that put all of this in motion. Like, this is the best career exploration event that any little girl who's in middle school and high school could ever possibly experience, and with like some of the key people that you want to meet. So yeah, that's all I've done.
Do you need another chaperone? I mean, I can.
So many people ask the chaperone. I mean, like, this is seriously one of the most fun things about my job, because I have been an explorer since I was a little kid. I am the one who will dive into anything. I research, everybody who's ever done anything just to find out, what they were like as kids and how they, came to be. So for me, putting together these kind of events where these girls get to go, they're going to be at the Andretti Garage. One of my girls has already looked at me and just like kind of teary-eyed and said, last week when I went to practice my esports at the driving sim place with my granddad, I sat down in Mario Andretti's chair and I practiced. Like, I really want to do this. I want to meet Mr. Andretti. And she's just like about to first. And this is a 14-year-old who's a rising freshman. So she's going to miss her first day of high school to come do this with us.
Wow.
Worth it.
She's already wrenching on motors. She's taking motors apart and putting them back together with her granddad. Like, I need 1,000 more of her. These are the kind of girls who get what we're doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, oh my God. I am just so.
We should have an awkward moment of silence when Dawn gets in the room.
Works for me.
Is she here?
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Hello.
That was awesome.
How are you, Don?
I'm fine. Was that a joke at my expense?
It was.
Pretty
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll
how
hear
goes,
about it when you'll hear about it when we edit the episode.
Yep.
Okay.
How goes the pressure washing at your house?
Yes, it goes.
Okay.
Loudly. Because
So-
hopefully there's nothing in the background here.
You missed the good news that Loxley shared. She's taken 9 young women to the track, and where else, Loxley?
So it's 7 girls, and we're going
7.
to Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Thursday. My brain's starting to melt together because there's so much happening. Thursday we're going. DHL is busing us to Cincinnati so that we can go to their international hub. The girls are going to get to go behind the scenes and see everything, go into the airplanes, meet the pilots, go into the warehouse, watch how freight's moved around, meet all the logistics people. And then on Friday, we're going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and they're going to go into the Andretti garage and hang out with the Andretti team. They're going to get to meet Jamie Chadwick, the W Series 3-time champion. They're going to get to meet Romain Grosjean. They're going to meet all of the Andretti team who work on all of the parts of the car and everything.
I forgot Romain Grosjean was on the Andretti team.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
I can't repeat what I used to say when Romain was still in Formula One.
Anyway.
Hey, he's great at IndyCar.
Oh, yeah. I have to give him that.
Yeah.
Awesome IndyCar. And he's such a nice guy, too. Like last year when we were at Portland for the Grand Prix, we're hanging out in the Honda hospitality suite, and he drops by to talk with David, the president of HPD. And I go, Romain, I have all of my girls here with you. Would you mind talking to them? He sat down for 10 minutes and talked to them and just gave them, and I'm like, asking him questions. He's answering everything. I'm like, what advice would you give your teenage self now that you're doing this? And he gave the best advice I've ever heard in my life. Like,
Wow.
you can really tell that he's a dad. And when he's around the kids, he's like, he is fully committed to inspiring them. So I absolutely love that guy.
That's amazing. I mean, all in the name of 2 things, right? Professional development for girls and just pure fun, I think.
Absolutely.
And you said DHL approached you for this when we last spoke, right?
Yes, they called me up 2 weeks ago. So in the midst of the busiest time of our business, which is summertime, because that's when we have the most time to have with our girls, DHL calls me up and said, hey, Andretti suggested I give you a call. I want to talk to you about something. And she kind of lays out a little bit of a plan, and I take it and I go, and exploded into something huge. And within a week, we have everything in place. We're launching this program, and the timeline is so tight. It's like there's a milestone every week that has to be hit to get 7 girls to Indianapolis, basically 2.5 weeks from now. So our deadline for girls to apply, and they have to become members of Athena Racing first, Club Athena, and then they can apply for the Girls at Track event. And the deadline for that is this upcoming Saturday on the 30th. And we're going to announce the 7 who go on the 31st. And we're going to have some help from CEOs of DHL with that too. So we're going to have they are so committed to really bringing this to life and making it huge. And it's fantastic to see, these leaders saying, oh, we'd be glad to make that announcement with you. So.
Do you know what the absolute coolest thing about this is?
What?
That you're going to announce this during Women's World Cup.
Wow.
Yes, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got to watch the Netherlands beat the snot out of Portugal this morning. It was an ugly game. But yeah, I think, this is great. I mean, I am so excited, because, I think, I don't know if you remember the last time we talked, I mean, I grew up in a garage. My granddad was an auto mechanic.
Yeah.
And I wish there had been some kind of support, for, women doing that, because I was always, oh, you don't want grease on your hands? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. I kind of like the smell of transmission fluid. It's kind of sexy.
I think actually, being such a STEM nerd for all of my childhood. I think it's one of the great things that about Club Athena. Yeah, Loxley, we've had you on before to talk about it. For anyone who's new to the podcast, do a 30-second explanation of Club Athena and Athena Motorsports and how you came about, because the mission is just so cool.
So Club Athena is a club specifically for little girls in middle school and high school who love everything about inventing and designing and engineering and fabrication. And we're basing this all in the transportation sector right now because that one has the highest, fastest growth for salaries and has such a need for women in it. So we're taking them at this really young age, getting them so excited about it, and they're having so much fun learning things in such a different way than how they do it in a classroom. It really sticks with them, and then they continue throughout their, and we're creating those talent pipelines straight into industry now. So they're getting hooked at this at 11 years old, when all of their friends around 15 or so are going, oh, I need to go fix my hair and I want to be a Kardashian. They're looking at them going, dude, I am nerding out on this and I'm having so much fun taking, this e-bike apart or, fixing the toaster or whatever they do. Because I've actually told a couple of parents to go to the Salvation Army or, whatever thrift store and buy electronic stuff and let their girls take it apart. Like, spend $5 on a toaster and just tell them to demolish it and try to put it back together. And that's, the invention brains. Like when the girls get to meet the speakers that we bring on for camp, I have an inventor from Pratt and Whitney with over 200 patents who at, their age was sewing and doing art and making patterns and taking things apart and looking at her mom and saying, well, they need to do this to this product to make it better. And her mom finally looked at her one day and said, they is you, and you need to do this for your career. And so, those are the little girls that get involved in this. And we just take them behind the scenes and just show them so much fun. And we've really, truly expanded from the last time that I was on with you guys. The great thing about COVID for us is that I immediately pivoted this, took everything online. And so we are now a national virtual club for little girls. So little girls can join us from anywhere. I actually had one girl whose father was in the military in Kansas, and during camp, she would go to the base with him during that week of camp so she could have Wi-Fi so that she could join us. So, there's these little girls who they are completely devoted to it. They might be in the middle of nowhere, rural America, but they get on to Wi-Fi and they can join us. And then they have this like-minded community of little girls because we now have our own clubhouse online. So it is a very private and protected kind of version of a junior version of LinkedIn, so that they can go on there, they can connect with each other from across the US and talk to each other. And we have different events. Everything, all of our courses are self-paced. So, for those who have, our student advisory president just competed in national soccer in Colorado. So, her past couple of weeks have been very devoted to that, but she hasn't missed anything because everything we do is self-paced. So then she goes in and gets caught up and can continue leading and doing all of the different activities she does, but be a part of Club Athena. So, we've really developed this and made it bigger and better. And now it's just a matter of getting those 1,000 girls connected with each other and getting more members to join us. That's our big wish right now, is for every parent with a little girl who loves to do this type of thing, get them involved with Club Athena.
That's right.
So, Loxley, this is amazing. I got to get a plug. AthenaRacing.org is your website, right?
Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, if just like similar to Misty, I grew up around the garage. I mean, my uncles all owned either car shops, repair body shops, mechanics. They were all mechanics. And the hard part about this for young women and girls is that you don't get encouraged. I go and pick up a crankshaft and they say, put that down. You're going to get all greasy. Or, I went and, got an erector set and it was like, if you play with those toys, boys are not going to even talk to you. So I'm so glad that you have this for girls that really want to be, just inventive and entrepreneurs and all the things that, unfortunately 40 years ago, we were discouraged to do. And that, which really sucks. Because now as a CFO of a nonprofit, and I'm just geeking out on math and spreadsheets all day long, I'm in my jam. I could have been here 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is so critical.
I came up with this idea for this club because I was that little nerd, and they all know that. Like, this is what I needed when I was their age. And so now that I'm at the point that I can share my knowledge with them, it would be horrible for me not to do that. Like, we have got to teach these little girls that they can get out there and do anything and be anything, and that they've got adults who want to help get them to that point.
And they can still play soccer, and they can still be on the volleyball team, and they can still be on the cheerleading squad, and they can still, be an English major. I mean, the sky needs to be the limit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think, Ben has been relatively quiet this episode, and I think that's because he only has eyes for lotuses and not for girls.
No, both.
But in the spirit of diversity,
sure.
I think it's one of the things that is core to our show is that we don't look like a typical bunch of straight white male motorheads. It's we are diverse. That we are gender diverse. We're racially and ethnically diverse. I'm actually a potted plant. And our audience somewhat reflects that. Maybe not the potted plant segment. I'm not testing well on my demographic, but what's the best thing our audience could do to help Athena Racing?
Really spread the word with other parents so that little girls know that we exist. Right now, awareness is everything, and making parents and little girls aware of what we do. I've tried to get in through the schools and let teachers know about it, but the teachers have so much on them that they don't make those connections. So this is really more about, just getting it out there to the parents and anybody who's a motorhead or an inventor or a businesswoman or a designer. We are touching on everything. We're not just, oh, you're only an engineer and this is only for engineers, so we're bringing in all of the different, I'm trying to show them all of the different team members it takes to do this. So yeah, you were right, Dawn, about the fact that, as a CFO and you working on spreadsheets, that's needed. And we show them that during camp. And then for all of the little girls who are artists and they're going, well, this isn't STEM. And I'm like, okay, we're actually changing the title. So we've changed it to STREAM, which is not known yet. Yes. But science, technology, research, engineering, arts, and math. And you mix all of those together. And that shows all of the different types of people and careers and jobs that you can do that are needed just to bring one product to life, just one thing. So you've got to have, the little girl who is a beautiful little thing. And we've got one who just won a beauty queen contest. And I love that about her. And her parents came to me because I was the only one invited to come watch her do this. And they said, the only reason she could get up there and be the public speaker that she became is because of you.
Wow.
She got out of her shell and gained her confidence to be able to go, because now you have to be a tremendous public speaker and do a lot of public service to get a beauty queen title. So she was out there with the public, shaking hands and helping and doing all the, they credited me for that, for breaking her out of her shell. So, and a lot of kids have to realize now, and their parents, public speaking and communication and the way you present yourself to the world is an important thing, regardless of what you do.
It's hugely important. It's absolutely hugely important.
Yeah. And someday maybe these beauty pageants will have somebody like do a Rubik's Cube or build a spacecraft instead of sing and dance and twirl a baton.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we could, what's the Sandra Bullock movie where she does Miss Congeniality?
Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality at a beauty pageant. I think that would be awesome.
Yep. Well, it's called, there's an acronym for it. It's like, knees or sternum, it's like, it's amazing.
Yeah. Although I have to admit, when you're talking about beauty pageants, my first thought was Suzanne Sugarbaker and the night the lights went out in Georgia.
Oh my God. I love that. I've forgotten about that show. That used to be me years ago when I had a lot more sass and wasn't in the public eye so much.
Well, I frequently say that when I grow up, I want to be Julia Sugarbaker, and I'm getting there.
Yes.
I am very, very close. So, but yeah, I mean, it's.
Are they liking that in the Netherlands? You're bringing that Southern accent.
It usually actually works really well in my favor because they're so taken aback. They're just like, what is this? And I'm just like, oh, doll baby, let's you and me have a talk here, because you just need to sit down and you just hush your little mouth and bless your little pea-picking heart.
Right.
There is nothing worse though than her. That is the night the lights went out in the dawn.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's
that was a good show.
That was an amazingly progressive show.
It was amazingly progressive. It was way ahead of its time.
Love that show. Yeah, it was super ahead of its time. And I think, that for all of us, Julia and Suzanne Sugarbaker are incredible role models.
Yeah.
And I think they fired up a lot of young women, like Dawn was saying, she's now a CFO and she's getting to geek out over all this stuff. And it's the same with me. I'm starting to move from, customer service into support operations, and I'm getting to do the fun things like development and training and onboarding and process improvement, and my little black heart just goes pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. But if I had someone to encourage me into this, typically, because women are supposed to be nice and quiet, and I'm like, I have no idea what any of that means. I'm just bossy, but I at where I work,
Misty,
I have the title.
there's
World's Okayest manager.
There's a difference between being bossy and assertive.
Yes.
Right.
And it usually includes genitalia. So.
All right. Let's
I'm
get
not
back
wrong.
to.
I have walked
get back
right
to
up to the
Athena
line
Racing.
and stopped.
I am not wrong. I'm being very serious. I'm being very serious. I mean, I have a really good friend who lives out in California, who was a team lead / manager, and her direct reports were, "Oh, you're just too bossy." And I'm like, Paula, that's your job, honey.
Yeah. That's it.
So, I have to say, I don't get the pushback here in the Netherlands that I've gotten in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But there is still pushback. And I'm very grateful for the company that I work for. Well, we're just like, hey, you're a manager. This is your job. And so, and I am very proud to carry the title of World's Okayest Manager.
But what a lot of people forget too is you have a job. You don't just get a job and then you show up and get a paycheck. You're expected to work, and people have forgotten what work ethic is. And showing up to work for 8 hours a day, which to me is not that much because I typically work 12 to 16 hours a day, like nonstop. But you show up to work, and that's not 5 coffee breaks for 30 minutes while you sit around and talk. And then, extra time for scheduling meetings that aren't going to get anywhere. It's like your boss is expecting you to produce an item of work. You've got a deadline. People don't know how to do that anymore.
We are a company that, while we're moving away from it, we have traditionally relied a lot on interns.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been days when I have come home and I have looked at people in my house and I say, I've got to bet that out of 4 of the interns I have, 3 of them, their mothers still clean their room.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God in heaven, I don't, I don't know
Can
that
I
I signed up
use
for this.
my pressure washer to clean my bathroom?
I wouldn't. Not
Can
unless you
you,
have
or
waterproof
should
fixtures.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always that. Should you, if you don't have waterproof fixtures, such as electrical outlets,
or if you don't want any grout,
Yeah.
if you'd like to clean it out of grout,
You guys are being so much more practical. It's like you shouldn't do it because Jen will kill you.
Well, I mean, that's the bottom line, but we're also supporting that argument with you could possibly cut power to the whole entire neighborhood, because your fixtures aren't waterproofed. And
you got a point. You got a point.
Yeah. I'm swear to God, I'm changing my name to Cassandra.
So
start calling you Clark Griswold after that.
Yeah.
So Loxley, we're going to try to turn as many people as we can in your direction. You said that you also had like a national footprint now that a lot of your activities are decentralized and made virtual. What can we do to help you locally here besides turn people in your direction?
I'm also looking for different companies to work with. We do monthly challenges and quarterly competitions now, and those are all industry based. So we're creating a commercial for a company. So we're going to teach them how to storyboard and get them to do some just kind of example shots of what they're expecting. Our very first challenge we're doing is them putting themselves in the seat of being one of the first members to fly out to Mars in a month. Right now, it takes 9 months to get out to Mars. So them being on the very first spaceship that would take them out to Mars, and they're going to write a whole journal, a whole book about their experience over a month of getting out to Mars. So we're actually going to be publishing that in November. So we're going to have different things that the girls do that we would love to get out to the public, so the public can support us by buying their book this December, because we're going to put all of these together in one big book so we can kind of see how the imaginations of these teenagers will help predict our future 20 years from now. So we're just doing fun things like that really give them great portfolio pieces. So any companies out there that are in the transportation sector who would like to get involved with us, we would love to hear from you. I would like a phone call from everybody, just like I got from DHL, for us to be able to put together some crazy events. And I will tell you, because I had a conversation with my DHL contact, she told me on Friday, her mind was absolutely blown. She didn't realize I was going to blow this up into the event that it became. She just expected me to show up at the track with 7 girls. And I was like, this is too important. We've got to let the little girls know that this type of thing exists, because all of us want to go do this. But until you know, you don't know. So that's why we have to stand on the rooftops and mountaintops and shout it as loud as we can, so that all of these little girls who want to do anything to move the world come join us. So yes, please tell every little girl, every parent, every company, everybody who looks at our website, clubathena.org and athenaracing.org, take a look at it and read through it, because we've got intensive information on there and just excited little girls who love getting out there and being our spokeswomen and being the spokeswomen of their generation.
Right. It's very cool.
Mickey?
Yes.
Mickey, I just had a light bulb moment. What about the end of August? Loxley brings a couple of the young ladies onto the podcast to tell us about their experience in the Andretti garage.
That's a brilliant idea. Loxley, would that be okay? Would you be open to that?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
I'll get all 7 on for you. You guys you'll have a handful, and they're great too. So
I'm excited. I think, maybe it's the mom in me or something. I don't know, but I get so excited when I see people growing, whether that's professionally or personally or things like this, does it make me sad when my own personal team members kind of outgrow my team? Yes. But then when I see them out in the world and doing amazing things, it's just like, yes, I had a part in that. Oh my God, these people
Loxley,
are so amazing.
I'll drop you a line. I'll make a note to myself to drop you a line in early August so we can make some plans. Or mid-August maybe, and we can make some plans. In the meantime, I have 2 critically important questions for you. Mm-hmm. You're gonna kick me for asking you the first one, which is, how do we get someone from Andretti to join us on the show?
I will talk to them when I'm at the right now.
Yeah, I know you've got your hands full.
Header weekend.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't realize that when I asked them.
Yeah, no.
Jill is at the track with them too, so they're nuts. But we'll have a session.
I don't want to create an imposition for you, but if it's convenient, we'd love to have them on as a guest.
Absolutely.
And the second question I have, critically important, is what is your favorite candy?
My favorite candy are York peppermint patties.
Oh,
a person after my own heart.
Yeah.
Yum.
Freeze them out. I can't remember how the commercial goes from the 80s, but
there were so many good ones.
Eating my York peppermint.
I feel like I'm driving 200 miles an hour down the straightaway.
Cool
I literally
water
had
all over me.
I literally had a friend of mine spend close to $70 to ship me one of the convenience store things with the mini York peppermint patties, and I just threw them all in the freezer.
Exactly.
And I hoarded them. I hoarded them like Schmog, hoarding his treasure out. And I told everybody in my house, I said, "You touch my peppermint patties, you will leave this house in a body bag because these are mine." And this is the one thing that I've never quite been able to make. I can kind of fake the Reese's peanut butter cups with the peanut butter balls, the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
But I've never quite gotten the peppermint patty ones. And I love
So this is going to show you how I was a teenager of the 80s. My favorite things are, I also will always look at people and go, "Oh, Calgon, take me away." Take me in bath. I am exhausted, done. I just need to soak. My third, and when I lived in Atlanta and had a Miata, I had this in the glove box. Tell me if you know what it was. Pardon me, sir. Do you happen to have
Great Poupon! Great Poupon!
And I would reach into my glove box because I always had the top down, and people always talk to me, even when I'm in a car at a traffic light, and people would go, "Hey," and I'm like, "Would you like some Grey Poupon?" And I would just pull it out and show it to them. So if you ever see me in convertible, just know that there's Grey Poupon in my glove.
That's right.
When I'm at the British car shows, there's always a little jar on the little tables that fold out of the back seats of the Rollses and Bentleys.
Yep.
So, Ben, what would you keep in the glove box of the Lotus?
Well, a bunch of the Thing About Cars cards that I can hand out to people.
I was thinking maybe bangers or mash, one or the other.
Well, it's light, fast, and sporty, so that's a good question. Maybe some digestive biscuits or something.
Was it custard creams?
Oh, that would be good too. Yeah.
No. Jaffa cakes.
Oh, yes. I love those.
It has to be. So now the question is, what do I keep in my Miata or MX-5?
Well, Loxley's done the mustard thing already. What should you put in yours? That's a good question. High chews.
Stroopwafels.
Stroopwafels. Yeah, that's it.
If you've ever had a stroopwafel, you will understand. Loxley, if you haven't had a stroopwafel, please let me know. I will arrange for that to happen.
I have never had one, no.
It is 2 thin cookies with a layer of caramel in between, and the perfect size to fit over your cup of coffee or tea. So you let it, and then the heat kind of makes it soft, and you just kind of go.
Talking about now, from my years in Europe. So yeah.
Yeah, they're a European delicacy.
Yes, they are.
In my convertible glove compartment, my Mercedes, I'd have Toblerone. Unfortunately, my air conditioner is out, so it would be melted Toblerone.
Yeah.
And it's Toblerone bark.
It would be fondue.
Yes, there we go. Swiss fondue. So I just need some marshmallows and
Well, actually, Dawn, I have a very small chocolate. It's about so big. It's a little chocolate fondue thing that I'll just ship over to you.
There you go.
Just, keep your tea lights on one side and your little chocolate fondue in the other, and
Loxley, I don't want to bore you to death with this. I know you've got a busy day in front of you. If there's anything else we can do to help you guys, just give us a shout.
Please.
And my screen just went black. Why is that? That's not good. Anyway,
do you smell toast?
No. I'm clear. We're good.
All right. All right now.
But thanks as always, Loxley. We look forward to connecting with you again in August, and let's just have some fun with your folks and see how we can forward your mission at all.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
And
off to work.
Off to work, yes. And to the rest of our Thing About Cars listening audience and family members and friends, the 1 or 2 friends that I've got anyway, thank you for listening to us. And if we need your suggestions for future episodes or ways that we can be involved with other car projects around the country, you know how to get in touch with us through our website. That's thethingaboutcars.com. In the meantime, we hope you're staying cool and dry and safe out there. We will see you with another episode in about a week. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Bye. Log on to
Ciao.
Athena Racing. Athena Racing. AthenaRacing.org. AthenaRacing.org.
Club Athena. Club Athena.
On to their head.
Club Athena. Club Athena.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Thing About Cars. We'll see you on the road.